7 wins? That's what he's talking about, Moan? Is that what Russell's saying there? Over or under on 7? 7 wins?
7 wins, man. I listen, I've been talking and looking at this thing, DK. Super fascinating. Super fascinating on what they're capable and able of doing this year, able to do this year. I'm more serious about it now, DK.
All right. Well, let's ding that bell here and get moving on this thing. What do you say?
Because people are watching Paul, I guess, right?
They're watching Paul Skeens, yeah. Good.
Here we go.
Skeens, the Pirates' super wunderkind Uber pitcher, it has struck out the first 7 guys he's faced today in Chicago, and then the next 2 guys grounded out. I mean, it's just 3 innings, but whatever. I know.
Come on now, dude. You know this right up my alley, man. I love this type of stuff, dude.
That's crazy stuff, huh?
Yeah, definitely, man. It's Good Friday, everybody, man. Welcome back, DK. I guess welcome back to me. We both just been off, and I've been everywhere in between.
Yeah,
man.
so have I. And I was up in Milwaukee covering the Pirates and everything else. And he's Ramon Foster in Hendersonville, Tennessee, 11-year starting guard in the National Football League. All 11 of those for your Pittsburgh Steelers. I'm Dejan Kovacevic of DK Pittsburgh Sports here in downtown Pittsburgh. And we are happy to be with you today because we got stuff to talk about.
Real things, DK, like the schedule release. I was excited, overly anticipating it, man, because the NFL rules all things whenever they start to release some stuff, DK. It's that simple, man.
Well, the Steelers schedule caused a lot of fuss, not just locally, but nationally because of the way it was structured. And normally, schedule release dates don't do much for me because we already know who they're playing.
Yeah.
It's just the order. But the order, all of the AFC North happens in the second half. That's the first thought that I want to get from you, Mr. AFC North, and these games mean so much more than anything. How would you feel about that as a player? That schedule comes out in front of you, and you see all the AFC North is in the second half.
First, I'm thinking bleep you Taylor Swift because it's probably because of her
tour.
And they admitted that they were working around that, okay? So I need to figure out what day she's going to give us free tickets. But as a player, I look at this, DK, and I probably say to myself, all right, we got to bang this out early. As many as we can knock down earlier in the season to catch our wave before this week 9 bye, we have to be on our job. And that's the thing about it. You get no grace to even start the season off, though, DK. I mean, Atlanta's fine, but just so much newness there that you don't really understand it. And not just that, 2 road games, DK, to start the season off. That's a bit much. But again,
is Atlanta a road game?
Not really. That'll be home.
That'll be a home game.
That'll be a home for us.
Denver will fill their own stadium. Atlanta's going to be Pittsburgh people.
It will be, but Denver will also have the altitude effect. The thing is, second game of the season, you should have the ability to still be in good playing shape. Should still be in really camp mode at that point of the year, DK. But how I look at it, though, is as a player, knock off as many of them as you can. Whatever kinks you have to get knocked out, as far as, okay, being on the same page, as far as making sure that the young guys who are playing understand what being in the NFL is, because those are the other things we have to worry about too, especially as it pertains to the offensive line, especially whatever happens between Jalen and Najee too. And I mean, we're not even mentioning the quarterbacks, okay, with an S.
Man, and a whole new system and everything. That was where I kept coming to.
Yeah.
In looking at this schedule, it's easy to get into all the AFC North. How about the 2 games against the Ravens are both followed up by short weeks.
Yep.
They play 4 days later.
On a Saturday on one of them.
Yeah, and it's a challenge. There's no question there's a challenge. However, that first part of the schedule, aren't you going to need it, Moan?
You are.
I mean, aren't you going to need that, like almost like extended preseason? So to speak, not that the players would call it that.
No, but here's the thing about it, though. The games in my era that I would have considered cake is no longer cake. All right? The Giants, they will be competitive. The Jets is not a cake game. The Dallas Cowboys, that early is not a cake game. You look at Anthony Richardson being back. I think most times the history of the Colts And Steelers would probably suggest that the Steelers have pretty much ran them into the ground. Not anymore, because they got the same issues that we got, except they got a nice defense with some weapons on offense too. It ain't as cake as I thought it would be. And then, of course, after the bye, DK, like you can happen before week 9. The bye is what I'm getting to.
Yeah. And
you can really save yourself as a team by playing well in the AFC North. The issue is, DK, is where will you be in the standings by then in the AFC North? Because you got 0 games by that time. That's where it becomes very problematic for the Steelers, man, to where they have to have probably one of the most detailed, hard, challenging camps I think you could possibly have this year.
It's going to be, especially on the offensive side, not to underestimate all the work that has to be done on defense. There will be new players over there as well. But when you're talking about 2 new quarterbacks, new offensive coordinator, 3 of the 5 offensive linemen, theoretically, will be either rookies or second year for Broderick Jones. All of the meshing that has to occur.
I know. And then
here,
the issue.
Pef says, I happen to share this view. These Steelers need to be 6-2 going into the bye. Don't forget that the other thing that happens before that bye is that there's a game in Las Vegas, and then they play the 2 New Jersey teams going right into the bye. I can't call them New York. They don't play in New York.
I love that you stick to your guns on that one.
I mean, it's on the map.
I know. I recognize that the taxes are, say it's New Jersey.
It's just right. It's across
the stadium is New Jersey,
all
right?
It's East Rutherford, New Jersey.
You know, if they want to switch up, you remember there was an old basketball team, the New Jersey Nets, remember?
Yep.
And
before they played in East Rutherford.
And where did they move? They're now the Brooklyn Nets.
They moved to Brooklyn. If you want to be a New York team, go move to New York.
Go move to New York. I'm with
anyway,
you
the Steelers have 3 games that should be winnable there. So there's different ways to look at it. Then they go into the bye week, they heal up a little bit, feel good about themselves, and say, all right, where's this AFC North stuff everybody was talking about? You know, and then they go at it. You know, I don't look at the schedule and go, you know.
At the first half, you mean, right?
No, I don't think any of it. Look, Ramon, when were you guys, when you were good, okay, when were you at your best?
When we had challenge, when we were our backs against the wall, we were the underdogs.
And you gradually got better as the season went along. Okay, you used to talk to me about it all the time. Here comes December.
Yep.
Okay,
go ahead.
No, that's you. You lived it.
I did. You know why I was that cocky? Why? One, we had enough mix of veterans and young guys, and then that dude Ben. I don't know what Russ is. And the reason I feel this way is because the uncertainty of what he's going to be able to provide this team. And not just that, though, DK. If we're talking about quarterbacks with an S, right?
Yes.
Quarterbacks with an S.
Yes.
How do you learn an offense if you're splitting reps with quarterbacks, too? Because there has to be either Russ is our guy or there's a competition. And if there's a competition, who's going to know how to build cohesion with one or the other as far as the receivers go, which I still think we got to find one of those. And that mark is light right now. Georgia's WR1, right, DK?
He is right now, yes.
So that's where it still becomes somewhat problematic to me as to where these answers of playmakers offensively going to come. You can say to yourself, man, I'm going to beat my head up against the wall and we're going to run and play smash mouth football with everybody. But today's game, unless you have one of those offensive lines, and I love the talent that's on this O-line, DK, but I can still sit here and say we took 3-4 years to get it right. When we finally, myself, Pounce, Willie left, Max left, Gilbert's in, DeCastro's in, Beach is in, Al is in. It still took us about 4 years to gather all that together, though.
Yeah, as opposed to 4 weeks.
Exactly.
So there's a lot that's going on here. We have a bunch of really good questions here that we're going to tackle.
And I got something I'm gonna say that I got something I'm going to say that may be a hot take, and I'm here for it, DK. Not even a hot take. I reality check that I want to see how everybody else is feeling about.
Well, we will save all of that for the only segment that matters.
That's Hey Mom. That's it.
At DK Pittsburgh Sports, we take pride in coverage that connects our city's fans to their favorite teams. Now, that connection's stronger than ever. Introducing our all-new state-of-the-art app. Find expert inside reporting and original podcasts. Check live box scores, track the latest stats, chat it up with our community of thousands of fans, all in one place. The new app from DK Pittsburgh Sports. Coverage that connects.
Welcome back to the Ramon Foster Show. He's Ramon, I'm DK, and we are taking your questions and your comments and your concerns and your criticisms and everything else that you've got here. We're going to get this started. First off, by thanking Grayson Brown for the $20 contribution. That's really cool. Justin Work came in with 10 gift subscriptions. Also very cool. We can always count on Kerry to come in with that one. I like it.
Yeah.
Victor checks in from Nigeria because he can do that.
Easy. That's big time right there. Appreciate you, my brother.
Yeah, Nigeria has almost as many people as the United States.
Yeah, you know,
isn't that crazy?
The makeup of my DNA is mostly Nigerian, by the way.
I did not know that.
Yeah, I did my 23andMe. I'm like 74% Nigerian or something like that. Yeah.
Did you do like some kind of heritage study or something?
I did the 23andMe. Yes, I wish I could find my tribe that I'm from over there, but I wanted to do that and see just what my makeup was. I'm a light-skinned black guy, and I tried to figure out what I have in me, DK.
That's pretty cool.
It is pretty cool, man. Absolutely.
Chandler Chase says, hey, Moan, do you think the AFC North is going to be the toughest division?
Yes. Everybody else acknowledges, so we might as well, too.
I was going to say, that seems to be if it's not universal, it's certainly a consensus.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, even the style of play, I was so the Ravens former defensive coordinators here in Nashville now, and he said he didn't understand ball, like rivalries. Denard Wilson, I think he was there for a couple of years, didn't understand rivalries until he saw what Pittsburgh and Baltimore look like. You know what he said that's so freaking true? These coaches, DK, they just feed us gunpowder, okay? You know what he said? That we say, you're not a Steeler until you beat the Ravens.
Baltimore, yep. And they say the same thing on the other time. Yeah.
They say it too, DK.
The difference is they say it publicly.
Yeah.
They actually talk about it openly. In the Steelers world, they keep that on the inside for the most part. They don't say, but it's different. Yeah. It's different. And when the head coach is traipsing down that hallway your head coach on the South Side on Baltimore week, yelling out to nobody in particular that it's Baltimore week and this is different. This is different.
And it is. So Chandler, heck yes, it is. And not just that. I'll give a little grace to somebody else. I think the NFC East may have a little bit of action. I think with the subtraction of Stephon Diggs, I don't know what Buffalo's going to do to combat Miami or what is New England.
We've seen a change in certain other conferences, and we could have a couple others that rise up a little bit and surprise people. But at the same time, there's nothing like this. And this is the ultimate example of iron sharpens iron, isn't it?
It so is. You feel it. Your body feels it. To lean in even more right there, Chandler. Man, my brother, is not even close.
Jason says, hey, Mo, do you see the Steelers' offensive line becoming a top 5 O-line before season's end?
No. Too young.
Thanks for watching, everybody.
Too young. I'd like for them to make the most improvement. And again, here's the thing: their quarterback situation is mostly mobile. Unless Russ is figuring out how to navigate behind those guys, or Justin, either one, then the answer, Jason, to me is no. And that ain't no knock. It's just the history of offensive linemen in the league. DK, I tell you, it's about a 3-year projection on them.
Nobody wants to hear this, but it's so true. Because you look, like, if you do this in an individual level and you say, hey, I'm really excited by Troy Fautanu's tape, okay? And you have to be. Like Mike Tomlin said to me, remember the night that they drafted him? Tomlin said to me, just go look at his tape. Go look at his tape. All right, well, I did, and I'm floored by it. But what does that mean in the context of all 5 guys reading off your quarterback, reading off of different running backs? Go ahead, Mo.
And here's the other thing, too. We're talking about experience. We're talking about the ability to affect somebody that knows 10 times more than you. Imagine Fautanu going up against who's on this list this year? Him going up against Myles Garrett. Come on. It's not a lot he can do. Or Josh Allen, the defensive end with the Jaguars. or that defense that Philly's going to send out in Philly. We're talking about guys in years 4, 5, and 6, 7 that got their second contract. They're all pros. They know they've forgotten more than Fautano's experience. It's an experience thing more than it. Is he a high pedigree? 100%. 3 years though, and the same goes for Broderick and Zach also. Like, give them time. It's all I ask. The same way that you have for us. The silliest thing of it all is just this to me though. DK, you don't have a super proven savvy quarterback that's played in Pittsburgh that understands the AFC North too. And I think that's also a Russell thing that he got to understand.
Yes, no question about that, but he won't get to until the second half of the season. Amish Baller says, "Hey, Moan, is playing Christmas Eve or Day 2 out of 3 years, is that fair to the players? Do the players just kind of tune that out?"
Man, coaches tell you, man, this is a job you signed up for. What would you rather be doing? Flicking the remote, watching those dudes on Christmas Day?
The head coach tells you that. I've heard it.
Yeah. you know how he compartmentalized this for us? He said, I know you guys, and not in this way, but I know you guys want to complain about playing on holidays and having to be away from your families and stuff like that. And he always tell a story about his family, his parents being in the service in the armed forces in the Virginia area, working the shipyards and stuff like that. He was like, his dad used to, come in, have dinner, and then he go to work right after they have dinner, or wait right after they have like holiday lunch, because it was time and a half. You get paid extra for working on holidays, and you guys are compensated very handsomely. So let's go to work.
Yeah, I honestly don't hear it in the locker room. I've never heard it.
No.
I mean, it's just that's the day that we're playing.
Yeah.
That what's going to be talked about, I have a feeling at that time, is going to be the other stuff we just mentioned, which is it'll be the Ravens on a Saturday and then the Chiefs on Christmas, which will be a Sunday
at 1 o'clock.
At 1 o'clock. So again, do Christmas Eve or something. They do that in probably more countries than not in the world anyway. Open all your presents on Christmas Eve.
But not even just that, DK. At Philly right before Baltimore and at Baltimore right after that.
Oh, yeah.
I had a hot take for you, too.
All right.
Hot take.
Here it
What's
comes.
the best way to get to get fired, I think, in the NFL? Go ahead.
As a head coach?
Yeah.
Best way to get fired. I mean, you just got to lose a lot.
Yeah.
What are we overthinking here?
And overpaying for a franchise quarterback, and he be bad.
Oh, okay. Now you're talking about general managers.
So this is where I'm at, and coaches too. This is where I'm at with this one. And let me play conspiracy theorist here for a little bit, DK. And you correct me if I'm too far off the beaten path, okay, my brother? But this is the perfect opportunity for Pittsburgh to be under that 7 games.
Oh, that. Okay.
You got 2 quarterbacks that they haven't committed to yet. Justin didn't get his 5th-year option pickup. Russ is on a 1-year proof deal at 35 years old. If there was ever a year for you to go get your quarterback, it sucks to even say that this is on my mind as a Steeler. I'm wrong for saying this. But in today's game, either you have to have a guy in-house or be in the top 10 to go get a quarterback, DK, you got to lose.
Oh,
I'm almost saying under this year. I know. Think about what Atlanta just paid for. I would have never paid this out of my pockets. $100 million over 2 years for Kirk Cousins. The average right now is about to be $55 million a year.
And then go draft somebody.
With Tua.
Yeah.
$55 million, DK. If you look at the core of this team, it is set for a young guy to come in and grow with it. I hate to even say it.
Yeah, I'm not there, and I'll tell you why.
All right, let me hear.
I understand that the offense is going to be a challenge to get to gel. Okay, I understand that they might not even have their wide receiver core finished out yet. So you're not even going to have one of those scenes where the quarterbacks are working out with the wide receivers on the side or on playgrounds in Florida and getting used to each other. None of that's happened.
Yeah.
All right. So there's a long way to go for that offense. But can you tell me why a team with TJ Watt, Minkah Fitzpatrick, Cam Hayward, Patrick Queen, Alex Highsmith, Keanu Benton, I'm going to keep going here, okay? Joey Porter Jr. Tell me how that defense doesn't win more than 7 games, even if the offense sucks.
I'm with you.
Why doesn't it's like they don't exist? Nobody ever talks about the defense.
And maybe we're too far away and been out of the playoffs and in the offseason too long, which is why and maybe it's the cicadas down here, DK, that's got me thinking this way. Okay.
Oh man.
Okay.
I don't know the last time I disagreed with you to this extent.
That's what, which is, I'm okay with this. I'm glad to be wrong. And
nobody wants any of these quarterbacks anyway in the next class.
You say that, but look at nobody in this world knew what a Brock Purdy was going to be. Right? Everybody thought Mac Jones was going to be the savior for the Patriots. Everybody thought Trey Lance was going to be the savior for the 49ers. Everybody thought Daniel Jones had it because he was coached by David Cutcliffe in college, who also coached Peyton and Eli Manning.
Mm-hmm.
Who's to say what the guy is going to be? But what I do know is this. I don't want to live in a world to where, DK, we're paying for $100 million for somebody else's starter. That right there, or $55 million a year. That's just me. I'd rather it be homegrown. You give him the extension and he's your guy for 12, 15 years. But quarterback roulette in a game like this is it's too fragile, DK.
Working out with Parkinson's comes in with a contribution. Says DK and Moan, do we actually need a big name wide receiver to become a Super Bowl contender? And I mean a real contender. Do you think that position remains one that's of need?
I don't even know if it has to be a big-time contender, big-time wide receiver.
I cringe every time I see names. I don't care about names.
Here's what you need, DK, working out is this. You need a threat. Who's the actual threat?
It's George.
It's George. And Pat. We'll throw Pat in there. 2 receivers that you truly believe in. Roman Wilson, we got to see what he's going to turn into.
Got to see it.
But who threatens you on game day? That, to me, working out is probably the biggest question. Like, I don't care about the receiver name. Like, it didn't work out for Buffalo. Give me a threat. Who threatens defenses on game day?
Yeah, I mean that's what you got to come up with. It's got to be someone like a Brandon Ayuk or whoever that can come in. And I still think Romar's got one. I still think he has something that's either in mind or, better yet, under his eye, and that he's going to go get it. There's just so much time left between now and then. Now, again, you want them here. There is benefit to having them here with a new playbook, new offense, new quarterbacks, new everything, okay? So I would not hold on forever, but I don't think this is it. I just really, really don't here.
I can't see it being it either, but man, it's that sand is starting to come through that hourglass. I mean, through that hourglass now as it pertains to, like you said, guys uprooting their families like an Ayuk or Debo or DK Metcalf before the season starts. They got time. They got money to be able to do it, but Lordy, DK.
Oh, yeah. Richard says, hello, men. Do you think this could be Mike Tomlin's last year with the Steelers? He didn't sign an extension, was one offered, and then now this schedule. First of all, again, if there's going to be one individual on this planet that's not going to be affected by that schedule, it's going to be Mike Tomlin, okay?
Yeah.
But he is supposed to sign an extension this summer. And they've talked about it openly. They've said it. Everybody has. Everybody. Art, Omar, Tomlin himself.
Yeah, and that's what I'm saying. It'll get taken care of. And again, here's the thing. Unless he tells somebody that he signed an extension, it's not going to get out like that. Like, it's not many times that it happens. You got to think about when Andy Reid just signed his. I think it was Fowler that got it. Like, he's told, hey, we just did this. A lot of the time, other coaches get their extensions and we never hear about them.
Yeah, I just not at all an issue. I mean, not at all an issue. And look, I understand, like Ramon was suggesting here, things can get rough. But to what extent do you look at this situation and say, you know, if things get bad for the Steelers, it's going to be because of the offense.
Yeah.
Okay, let's just go there.
All
and
right.
Specifically, it'll probably be with the quarterbacks. If things go bad.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so you got to go get a quarterback, you know?
The answer is there to the problem, right? Is what you're saying.
Yeah.
Yeah, the answer is there to the problem. And here's another thing, too. The whole time we was there, I don't think the message ever got stale, DK. You know what I'm saying? As far as Coach Tomlin coaching us, as far as how we play.
You were there for 11 years. Did his message wear off on you?
It never got stale. Sometimes, y'all, you just lose, and sometimes you're just not good, and that could just be from Sunday to Sunday. It could be just, man, this year wasn't our year. Our worst years as of late been 8-8 in 2011.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, it's Jeff Clayton says, "Hey, Moan, is there a need for more veteran leadership in the cornerback room? Patrick Peterson would look good in there, even if just from an intangible perspective." Correct me if I'm wrong here, but the room isn't cornerbacks, right?
It's a secondary.
Okay.
Yeah, they have it.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's I didn't want to speak out of turn here. I believe that it was a secondary room. Okay, secondary room. Who's your leader in the secondary room? It's just Minkah Fitzpatrick. Yeah. So no. The answer is no. Now, is Minkah going to go and do some of the stuff that Pat Pete did, where Pat Pete was very comfortable, and rightly so, in going over to Joey Porter Jr. and give him something specific? Hey, listen, young guy, I've been there. I've been in island coverage, okay? I've been the guy that's tasked with going after the DK Metcalfs of my own time, okay? Here's a little thing that you can do. Here's something. Is Minkah going to do that? No. Minkah plays a different position. Is Minkah going to tell you where you need to be? Because he studies everything and everybody's position because he's nuts like that? Yes.
And not just him. Miles Killebrew is still there. You got to think it's a lot of guys that don't play their position on the field that are also still leaders inside that locker room and inside those rooms. So, and here's the other thing. So you look at Joey Porter Jr.'s situation, say he understands what's at stake here. His dad played in that exact same locker room and field. Like, you know how to beat pros. Like, I don't think age is going to be necessary for the secondary. They're fine.
You know, I love this one here because I'm gonna end up tossing this to you in a different way. Kenneth Martin asks me, he says, "Hey DK, you got to look at the new offensive lineman, meaning at rookie minicamp last weekend, and what's your first feeling?" I'm gonna do this through the Ramon prism here. Ramon would measure these guys not based on how they handle walkthroughs or anything like that, okay? Because no one cares about that stuff. You can't show yourself at a rookie minicamp. What you can show is personality, what you can show is some character and so forth, right?
Yep, 100%.
So what Ramon is looking for is who is that dog in the room. And you guys know what I mean when I say dog. I mean D-A-W-G, dog. See it down there?
D-A-W-G, DK.
Yeah. So these guys, out of them, I'm going to tell you this. Zach Frazier has one of these perpetual smiles about him. I don't think you're talking one of those types of personalities that's like this all the time. Yeah. Because he knows he can just kick your rear end. And he just and I like that. I think that's actually pretty cool for a center to have. Okay.
It is.
Troy Fautanu has that I know I belong here vibe without being that. You've seen that. And I sensed that at this thing. The name I'm gonna throw at you here, and you're gonna love this because he's a guard.
Yeah.
That would be Mason McCormick.
Really?
Read those letters down there. D-A-W-G. I am telling you right now, he looks and sounds and feels like a guard, like a guy who's just, this is my spot. I'm taking care of this.
What's fascinating, I've seen more write-ups about him being a starter than I feel like almost anybody else. He dominated at his division at South Dakota State. He has grit, he has size, he has mobility, he has the want to. It's all I've heard about him. I watched his tape. His tape suggests he was a man amongst boys in that division that he played in. If you're going to small school places, that's what you have to see in those situations right there.
You have to rise way above. Yeah, you have to do what Alex Highsmith was doing at the University at Charlotte.
Charlotte, yes.
Yeah.
So he's moving and acting like he belonged, DK.
He is. And it's funny, as I came in and they lined up for their first whatever drills, okay? And I'm thinking, oh, look at that. Fautanu's over at right tackle. Wow, that's really interesting. That's news. That means that Broderick Jones is going to be on the left side, presumably, whatever. And everyone else around me is talking about McCormick. Oh, yeah, but McCormick moved to right guard. Whoa. So there's something there. Okay, I don't know what, and I'm definitely not predicting that they would put 4 children on the offensive line in 2024.
Why not?
But
Why
if you
not?
can play, you can play, right?
So hear me out on this one. I've seen this situation before where a guy comes in and get fired hot.
Mhm.
And there's a guy that has a nice contract in front of him. And when training camp happens, the guy with the big contract, who was a veteran in the league, got kicked out. Coach, it's all about what are you willing to do for me and how bright your future is for us.
And then all of a sudden, everybody starts asking questions about why they do that. Is James Daniels making $8 million? Guess who else made $8 million? Chooks.
Yeah.
What happened to Chooks?
He sat and got paid.
He sat and got paid and then was gone after that. So it's
Now you got me working my Omar wheels now.
Oh, yeah. Roland the Tenant says people are talking about the back end of the schedule like key injuries won't be on domination mode, especially at that point in the season. And that's the other thing nobody mentions. Do you realize how many quarterbacks the Steelers will miss out on in the second half of the season?
Yeah. That's
every year now. Half of them are gone.
That's very true. I just want to, the fact that we don't know is my only contingency on saying like, yeah, we're going to dominate this year. And that's because there's a lot of major questions. Can Broderick handle left? Is Fautano going to be able to handle right? What does this Arthur Smith version of his offense look like for us? You know what I'm saying? Like, that's the only thing. You're right. The season has to handle itself. And guys will get injured. But again, on the surface level of it, if we're going to be real with each other about how we feel, okay, after the break, we should get Washington at Washington. I'm all right to say that this early in the offseason. Baltimore, challenging. At Cleveland, challenging. At Cincy, challenging. Cleveland again at home, challenging with their $250 million quarterback behind that. At Philly, with that defense, challenging, DK.
Yeah, no, Josh Dobbs says these boys aren't kids. They're all longtime starters in college. Okay, Moan, please.
College is here, eye level, and I love it.
Go ahead.
NFL.
Yeah.
Josh, I
People
know what
watch
you're
college
thinking.
football and think it's like this is. Remember when the Alabama could beat the Browns?
Oh my God!
Do you remember that?
My Browns will mop them.
Dave said, David DeCastro. I mentioned that once to him. DeCastro goes, they would actually be taking the Alabama players one by one via ambulances to hospitals. That's the difference between college and the NFL.
You know why, Joshua, that makes no sense too? Is because of this. There is an adjustment period that where every player goes to it, and ask any player this question. I guarantee they can tell you the answer to it, DK. Ask any veteran, DK, whenever you walk in that locker room soon. Minka, when did the game slow down for you?
Yeah.
Russ, when did it slow down for you? And everybody going to tell you probably halfway to later in the season or the next year. Yeah. There is a big adjustment period.
Yeah, there is for sure. And it's not, in some ways, it's not even the same sport.
It ain't.
I hear that a lot, especially because of the intricacies. People talk about the physical differences.
Come on.
The schemes, the stuff that it gets done at the professional level, they don't have classes. Okay? All of the classes that you do have as a pro are all aimed at trying to outsmart the other guys.
That's it. That is it, DK. Like, legitimately, you walk in a room and you find one guy and say, that's the dude we picking on today. And you do that and you beat teams because of that. Ask anybody who's ever played in the game, when did it slow down to you? And they'll probably go, wow, man. They can tell you the exact moment.
And the same thing is going to apply to this schedule too. Chris says, I hated the schedule at first, but the true nature and definition of being a veteran is hardened over time. Well, this team is going to have to get hardened over time. I would rather have that be gradual.
I'm with that.
I don't want a brand new offense with new quarterbacks, new coordinator, new playbook, new everything to just get thrown out there or 3 road games out. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
and face the AFC North and face the Ravens, they'd get trampled.
You got to be salivating.
Trampled.
Yeah. You got to be salivating. As Coach T would say, man, cut your eyelids off. That's what I'm going to do when the ball kicks off. Cut my eyelids off, DK, and watch this thing intently.
I don't think I've ever heard this, but Sixers says in the 70s, the Steelers went against college all-stars and hurt them so bad they quit playing that game. Is that true? They played college? Right. Wow. I can't believe that, especially with those Steelers. Are you kidding me? They would have murdered them.
It's a thing.
I mean, physically murdered them.
I think it's a thing, DK.
Oh my
It
God.
is. Heck yeah. This was the game was contested annually except for 1974. Was played in July, August, and September, and 42 college game all-stars. Wow. The defending pro champions won 31, and the all-stars won 9. 2 ties. Wow. Giving the college teams a .38 winning percentage.
I can't believe they lived.
Me either. Oh Lord, that was a real thing.
Wow,
DK.
that is really wow.
Let me find the Steelers game.
Just why?
Yeah, that actually happened. Pittsburgh Steelers beat them in 75, 21-14. And in 1976, Pittsburgh beat them 24-0.
And they probably didn't even take it seriously.
Oh,
that's the other thing.
You want to hear this? Oh, no. Well, the game was called with 122 left in the third due to inclement weather. It wasn't because they beat them down. And maybe that was part of the reason, though, too. MVP of that game, DK, you want to hear?
Good.
Ray Guy.
That's actually really funny.
Ray Guy won MVP and said, well, he won it in 73. This was a thing. We need to get film of this.
I wonder if there'd be footage. That'd be really, really something, huh?
Oh, man, goodness. Yeah, this was a real thing.
Grayson wants to know, hey, Moan, how does Tomlin use schedules like this to play mind games with his players?
He doesn't at all.
Okay.
He might talk to a veteran or two like, hey, there's been situations like during the season, he'd walk up to a veteran, me or Pounce on the other side of the ball cam. Hey, get your boys ready. We got to go. Whatever y'all got to get locked down, get it locked down.
Yeah, that's not mind games because you guys were grown-ups.
No.
He wasn't. He's not mind gamesing you.
No, he don't mind games us.
He did it with Wormley.
Well, yeah.
With
I mean, that's
Chris Wormley. You understand, Worm. They didn't want you.
Yeah.
The team inside the division was okay with facing you twice a year.
Yeah, nah, it's not really anything. Only mind games he tell us is make sure you got your holiday schedule set. Nothing messes with football.
Yeah, that makes sense. That's wow.
Yes, man.
Let's see what else. We're gonna take a couple more here today, and looking here for some good ones here. What game? Hey, Mon, what game are you got circled here that you're gonna take the boys to?
I won't be able to. My fall is locked in, man. We'll be sitting around watching the Christmas game. What's up, Frosty? Frosty's down here in Nashville with us too, man. Yeah.
Okay.
He's waiting for that college football game to come out, DK.
Oh man.
I know you don't. What is college football video games? I know how it goes.
Yeah, you do. Yeah, you do.
Yes, indeed.
I'm going to check through our starred ones here from earlier here to make sure we didn't miss anything that was really good. It is.
Said they were killing them it's on YouTube. I'm going to look at this.
Yeah, I'm going to find that too.
We should talk more about this. This is crazy.
Here's our last question for the day. Dr. Shadow, who always has good football stuff for us, says, why do Steelers need a wide receiver if they're switching to a power offense anyway?
It's what I said earlier. It's the threat. It's the threat of having a guy. Dude that was very similar in Arthur Smith offense, A.J. Brown. A.J. Brown, I mean, he got like 1,000 yards, but it wasn't like he was getting like 1,600 yards a season. It was a threat of A.J. Brown making a big play for you. That's where it comes into play. Like, you do need it. Shadows in today's game, like getting 20 through the air is a whole lot easier than getting 20 on the ground. That's just how the game is these days. And you got a quarterback that can sling it and should be able to command this offense the way we're used to seeing it be also.
Mm-hmm. All right, guys. Well, when we come back, we're going to close up shop here and take care of some business. Is that all right?
Absolutely.
All right. All right. We've had woo.
Yeah.
I'm so hot in here. I can't even think. It is
hoodie
so
on.
warm. Yeah, I'm now complaining to the boss. I got a hoodie on for no reason. I never had time to take it off during the show. And
oh man,
no, it's not over. We're still on. She's asking if it's over. Yeah, we can do all that.
Absolutely. I'm looking at this overall record of this All-Star game. Pittsburgh is 2-0. Who is it? Guess who has the only losing record against them? Oh, this is olden days, though. Washington Redskins. They're 0-2.
Yeah. Vegas wants to know if I know about Zdeno Chara and the dance on the car. Zdeno Chara was a defenseman for the Boston Bruins for many years, headed to the Hockey Hall of Fame. Is that who we're talking about here?
I think that's Sierra.
Okay.
Russ's wife, Sierra. Oh,
it's not Zdeno Chara.
We should end the show right there. That's Sierra and the dent. I'm so disappointed in you, Dejan.
I'm picturing Big Z.
Big
Z is a 6'9" hockey player. Did you hear me?
My Lord.
I'm picturing a 6'9" dude on skates. By the way, when I went to go to interview Big Z,
yeah,
for real,
I'm
6'2".
Yeah, you are. You're tall.
And I'd have to look up like this to talk to him after games. You have his skates on.
Sierra. That's You know what? DK, it's been real solid, man, with how you went.
At least Hanover Fist knew who I was referring to, though.
Sierra, man. You almost made me say her name wrong,
DK. Unless Sierra is headed to the Hall of Fame the way Zdeno Chara is, I don't really care,
I can't believe it. I can believe you. I can believe you, man. Oh, my gosh.
Well, it's Friday, Moan. What you got for us?
Man, y'all know how it goes going into the weekend because everybody gets a little ratchet on the weekend. So before you do that, man, call somebody you ain't talked to in a while. Yes, I'm asking you to apologize to somebody. Maybe they'll apologize to you. Buy somebody a drink. Have a random conversation. Shake somebody. Hug somebody's hand. Don't shake somebody. Shake somebody's hand. Hug somebody, okay? We got to get better as a people, and it starts here on the Ramon Foster Show on DK Pittsburgh Sports Network, man. Love you guys. Make it back to us on Monday.
All I'll add is, in your life, find somebody that you're comfortable enough with to give the Ben Roethlisberger Charlie Batch hug to.
Please.
Okay?
Yes.
Do it like that. Do it like that.
You can't give Barber an inch, man. He takes a mile there. Don't shake anybody. Opposite of what we're doing. Yeah, can we shake him while we hug him? Yes, you can, Mr. CJ.
The next show will be next Wednesday, guys. See everybody then.
Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.